You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 46 of the Battered Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Granada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
We're streaking, baby. We are streaking, just not the right streaking that we want to do.
Yeah. Well, we both said and we both agreed that we thought that they would come out and put up a fight, right? Because the night before, they play up to their competition usually. So I wasn't really surprised with the first half. You almost hit the 36. You said they'll score 36 in the first quarter. They got 34. You were off by 2. So we both predicted it was going to be a good start and that they would put up a fight. But
We
man,
did.
But that third quarter came and it was downhill from there.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, the first half was actually pretty good. 59 points. A little less than what we're used to when the Heat play fantastic and they get to 120, 130, 140. But it was a much better first half than what we saw against the Pacers the night before. And it just wasn't enough last night. Just wasn't enough. Like you said, the third quarter really came and bit us in the ass. And that was the biggest difference, right? The Heat just didn't play great defensively in the second half. They didn't play great offensively. And that was the reason why they lost by 12.
What's crazy is that they shot 53% from 3. Like,
yeah, 54% overall. So it's not like they shot bad.
I think the third
they just didn't play great.
Yeah. Khalil Ware had 1 rebound yesterday.
Yeah, they also had 23 turnovers, Danny. I mean, you're not
going to win. Well, and Norman Powell, look, when I saw that Norman Powell was out, I thought, I thought that they were going to put up a fight, but it's going to be a lot harder now. But you put Pelle Larsson in the starting lineup. Starting Pelle Larsson is much better than second unit Pelle Larsson. Pelle Larsson makes a difference. It wasn't enough yesterday, obviously. But Pelle Larsson, we need to figure out how to get him onto that starting lineup. Would you sit down Davion Mitchell?
I wouldn't. I'd sit Tyler Hero.
I don't think that's going to happen, though.
I don't care if it doesn't happen, but you're asking me my opinion, and that's who I'd sit. I'd sit Tyler Hero. Unfortunately, I just don't think Tyler Hero melds with this style of play. I know last night he had 19 points, but he just doesn't look good. He looks, and I tweeted last night, Danny. I think he looks very similar to how Jimmy Butler looked last year, right before the Heat traded him. He had a turnover
the second
half. In the second half, where he threw the ball cross court looking for Nikola Jovic, and it was the laziest pass that I've seen. And he didn't even go play defense. I don't know. He just doesn't look like he's interested to be a Miami Heat player anymore.
I disagree. I thought Tyler Hero had an okay game. Andrew Wiggins was the lone bright spot yesterday. 7 for 10 from 3. He had that one. Was it before the half where he was kind of almost falling out of bounds? Andrew Wiggins was on one, and then Bam. We were talking about Bam yesterday, and somebody commented that you were crazy for saying that you would never even consider trading Bam. So our max player, making I don't know how many millions of dollars, came out yesterday, and although he had 13 rebounds, 14 rebounds, the only person that rebounded yesterday. But do you give max to somebody that rebounds? Because offensively, 6 points. And the thing with Bam is that we were really excited because, like, you know what? He's getting this max, but he's developing his game. He's going to be more than a defensive player because now we can count on him offensively. Look, he's developing a 3-point shot. We got to see him take at least 5 3-pointers a game. Is he even shooting threes?
He only shot one last night.
He took one last night. I'd have to go back and see that.
And he only shot 2 free throws and missed both. And that's not the Bam that we like to see. We like to see the Bam that gets to the free throw line, the Bam that takes the ball to the hole, draws fouls, gets easy buckets, and he's just not making those easy buckets, Danny. He has those floaters, those turnaround floaters 5 feet from the rim, and he's just off almost every single time. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see him struggle offensively like he's struggling. I haven't seen him play this bad offensively since maybe his rookie year.
Yeah, it's been really, really bad, and it's gotten worse. You know what is 6 points from your max player? At some point, it has to get to the point where we start looking at, because I know you, and I look, and like I said, and I've said it time and time again, I love the whole Heat culture thing. We don't tank, we don't lose, whatever. But at some point, you need a refresh. And if they can't trade for a difference maker, because I think you and I both agree that the roster as presently constructed isn't going anywhere. Yeah, you might get the 6th seed, you might get the 5th seed, you might get a play, and I don't know. But you don't expect this roster to do much. I think we've seen enough. This is a large enough sample size, almost at 40 games. We're 2 games away from being at the halfway point. I think we can see that this roster isn't going to do much. Like, you have to make a decision. You either have to figure out who you're going to trade off to get somebody back. I don't think Giannis is coming. Maybe you can get John Morant. Maybe. And he'll be somebody aggressive going to the paint the way it looks like Spo wanted everybody to play. Or you start considering maybe it's time to blow it up. The thing is, Pat Riley's so old. I don't think he wants to go through a rebuild because, he wants to see this through for one more chip. So I don't know what the answer is here, but I really don't see this roster doing much right now.
Who are you trading Bam for?
Oh, it would have to be a big return. It would have to be somebody like Giannis or
But isn't the idea to team up Giannis with Bam Adebayo together, or is the idea to team him up with
No,
Tyler
it would be to replace Bam with somebody that's also maybe not as good defensively, but could still be a good defender, but also give you an offensive punch. If you put Giannis on this team right now and just swap him off for Bam 1-to-1, which is impossible, right? You can't just do a 1-to-1 trade. But if you were, I think this team is a lot better. With Norman Powell around him, Tyler Hero around him, Khalil Ware next to him, I think that this team is a lot better if you have Giannis's offensive punch on this roster right now. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I don't think Giannis is leaving Milwaukee. I think he came out and said that he doesn't want to leave. He said it like a day or two ago. But I don't
want to stay in Milwaukee. Only Giannis. He's I know who really wants to stay in Milwaukee. I mean, you have the South Florida beaches. You have the clubs out on South Beach. You've got the Heat culture.
He's not that guy.
Fan base. I mean, come on, Giannis. What are you doing? What are you doing? And look, John Morant. I know we had
him in Miami.
I don't know. I think I'd be okay if they traded him straight up for Hero. But some of these, mock trade packages that I've seen that have, 2-3 players and a pick and all that for John Morant, I think it's ridiculous, especially if you just saw Trae Young go for absolutely peanuts to Washington. I don't think that the Grizzlies have the momentum on their side to ask for a lot of assets back, and that plays into the Heat's hands. So I do think that John Morant for Tyler Hero straight up, that's something that I'd consider doing. And
you would get so tired of seeing John Morant. He can't shoot.
Yeah, but he can drive the ball. He can get you, he can get you into the paint. He can get you free throws, and we can work on his shooting. There's a reason why a lot of players come here and are better 3-point shooters when they're in Miami, and that's because they have the right shooting coach. They have the right coaches that are there, and I think he can develop make his 3-point shot better while he's down here. What we need is somebody to command that offense.
When Jimmy was here, do you think that this team would be better with Jimmy trying? Would this team be better right now with Jimmy trying at the current team?
No, I don't think so.
No? Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think this team and this roster and this era of Heat have kind of run its course. Like, imagine, with Jimmy, they were a playing team how many years in a row? Like, it just, unfortunately, it's gotten to that point where I don't know where this team is going to go, because I feel like playing is like what this roster is built for, and it sucks. I really thought, man, back in Thanksgiving, dude, you would have talked to me in Thanksgiving. I really thought differently, and it's crazy how the last 2 months have kind of just completely taken all the hope from a lot of people, not just me.
Well, I think this team is one player away from being a top 2, top 3, top 4 seed in the East, and potentially making a deep run into the playoffs. I don't think that they're that far off. Obviously, last night you had your best player Norman Powell out. due to lower back soreness. So that hurts as well. And that's a player who has been leading the way for this team. It's basically their all-star for this team this season. And yeah, I know we're talking about Bam only 6 points and he's your max contract and all that, but let's be real. The guy who wears the Superman cape on that offensive end is is Norman Powell. So it was a big loss last night. I think he gives you a lot more than what Tyler Hero does, especially defensively. Tyler Hero doesn't give you anything defensively. So that's why I'd be okay trading him. If they get Ja Morant for him, I'm okay with that. We'll just have to wait and see. We have a few more weeks here, and maybe we'll throw out an episode here before the trade deadline comes.
It's funny you say that because I just thought of a question that I was going to ask you, and I was like, man, this could probably be a show on itself, but I'll ask you, and you just give me a couple words, and then maybe we'll dive into it in another show later this week. Norman Powell. What are you going to do with Norman Powell? You're going to give him $100 million? He's like 32 years old, but he's the best player on the team right now.
You give him 2 years, you give him $60 million. I think that's good enough.
I think that there'll be some teams that throw more at him.
That's fine. If they want more, they can have more. But
then where you at? I don't know, man. I feel like the Heat are entering a very tricky situation because they don't have that guy. That one guy that you wanted to be that guy has not been that guy, which is Bam. Then Norman Powell has come out and kind of turned into the best player on the team this year. He's a borderline all-star, and he might walk for nothing because, I mean, I don't know if you could just throw the bank at him. I don't think you can make him the face of the franchise. I don't know, man. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And, I mean, we played OKC yesterday. I told you we'd get smacked. I think everybody knew we were going to get smacked. Put up a fight to start. We play them again in a couple of games again. Like, this shit doesn't even get any better.
It doesn't, man. It does. But let me stop you for 1 second because you said that Norman Powell is a borderline all-star. Absolutely not, Danny. He is a bona fide all-star. He is exactly the type of player who's going to be voted in by his peers or by the coaches because they know what he does on the court, and he's going to be an all-star. And if he's not an all-star, I will go off all over the place because he deserves to be an all-star. He's probably the best two-guard in the Eastern Conference this season so far.
I agree with you. I think he's an all-star also. The caveat there is that if he's an all-star, makes it even worse with the trade with the contract negotiations.
It does. But I think that he's bought into the Heat culture, and I think that
I love him on the Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he knows what is wanted of him from down here, and I think he's done a good job of embracing that, and I think because of that you might be able to get him to take a little bit less if he knows that we're going to bring in a Giannis, a Ja Morant, somebody else who could be that 1A, 1B with him, because I do think he could be the leader of a team that makes a deep playoff run. I just think he needs to be surrounded correctly, and the way he's surrounded today, it's just not working right now over the last few games.
That was a terrible, terrible road trip. It was supposed to be 4 games. One of them got rained out, right?
Rain out in basketball? What?
What was it? It was what was it that was happening to the court? It was like what? I don't know.
It was condensation because apparently it was so hot outside.
The AC broke or something?
No, it was just so hot, and the ice. They had the ice from the hockey game underneath
from the Blackhawks.
Exactly.
Ah, okay. Well, it was a 4-game road trip. They only played 3 of the games, and then they got smacked 3 times. And now they go for a 3-game homestand. We got Phoenix at home tomorrow night. We got Boston at home on Thursday, and then we have OKC on Saturday. It's joy right before we go off on a West Coast road trip. So this should be interesting. Huh?
3 wins.
Who wins what?
3 wins. Not who wins.
3 wins.
3 wins, man. No? Suns win? Boston?
You know what? If they're going to go on a crazy losing streak, I hope it happens before the trade deadline. Because at that point, you just got to move Norman Powell. As much as it pains me to say it. Like, if you see that there's a good chance that the best you can do is the 8th or 7th seed, there's a chance that Norman Powell walks. You trade Norman Powell and you get a lot back for him. You begin a rebuild while you're not rebuilding. If you can get some assets for Norman Powell, you don't know if he's going to be back next year. You don't know if you're willing to give him a max contract. I want to keep Norman Powell. I think he's great. But on a team that we don't know, it doesn't have any direction. If Bam Adebayo is the best player moving forward the next 2 seasons, I don't know where this team's going to go. So I build up some assets. Maybe those assets help you in the offseason get Giannis.
Possibly. Nah, I got a question for you. Does Norman Powell, if the Heat make a trade before the deadline and they keep Norman Powell, and let's say they bring a Ja Morant, does Norman Powell play the same way under a different system if the Heat move to a different system, a slower system where it's not so much running, not so much run and gun, 3-and-D? Does he play a little bit differently, and is he going to suffer from a system change?
I don't think so. He's accustomed playing as the third best player. I mean, he did it last year with Kawhi, Harden, and he was the third option. Now, I'm not going to come and tell you that I know. I mean, I would imagine just with those players that the Clippers aren't a running gun type of team. I would assume that they play a little more slower paced, a lot of pick and rolls with James Harden. So I'm assuming that they played and he was averaging more than 20. So I think he can do it. Don't kill me if you're a Clippers fan and you know how they play. I have no idea. But I believe that they're a heavy pick and roll team with James Harden. So he's done it in the past, just recently last year. So I think that he can do it. I just don't like Ja Morant just because he can't shoot. And once his athletic ability starts to decline a little bit, it'll be like Russell Westbrook. Look, how many teams was Russell Westbrook on after he hit like 28, 29 years old? Like every season he was going from one team to another because once you can't shoot and you're just banking on your athletic abilities, at some point that goes away and you become you're not that first option. You're not that guy anymore.
Yep. We'll see what happens.
All right. Any final words there, Solana?
3 dubs. That's what we need. 3 dubs.
Yeah, we need it. Yeah, we're gonna get it. I don't think so, but we need it. But let's start with the Suns because of the next 3 games. The Suns is definitely the most winnable. Then you got the Celtics and then OKC. You think we're gonna beat OKC? Okay, again, maybe we'll see.
We had a chance last night.
Yeah, I guess half the game for sure. I mean, once they decided to clamp down, it was just turnover after turnover. Though OKC is a good defensive team.
Absolutely.
All right. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. And we will be back in 2 days talking about hopefully the first dub against the Suns. So until the next one, have a good one.